We are 68 days out from the midterm elections. Republicans in full campaign mode as they work to keep or expand their slim majorities in the House and the Senate. President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance will keynote the first ever Republican midterm convention in 2 weeks in Dallas, Texas. Vice President Vance will speak on the first night, with President Trump closing out the event. Democrats are leading the GOP in multiple generic ballot polls and favoring the left on the economy. Joining me now is West Virginia Congressman Riley Moore. Congressman, do you think that this is going to help turn out Republican voters? I mean, there are reports that President Trump is saying, put me in your advertisements. It is time to get voters, Republican voters, to get motivated and get them to turn out. Or the president's agenda, let's be honest, would be stopped for 2 years.
Yeah, Cheryl, thanks so much for having me on. I think this midterm convention is a really unique opportunity. We've never seen something like this before, to really reiterate the case of why we must retain control of unified government as the Republican Party, and then also lay out the case, very plainly put, kind of common sense versus crazy, what that alternative is. We've never seen a midterm convention like this before. So I think this does give us the ability to be able to restate the case to our base of why you have to come out and vote, because this is going to be a question of turnout. Obviously, we've seen the DSA and the left-wing lunatics are very activated. They are coming out to vote. We need our base to come out to vote. And I think this midterm convention is going to put us in a really unique opportunity to be able to restate that case and bring our voters to the polls.
The legislative calendar is going to be short when you return. The House returns to Washington Monday, and the lower chamber is only going to have 16 legislative days before the midterms. There's a lot on the docket here, Congressman, including the Senate's version of the stopgap funding bill. Work is expected to resume on a third reconciliation package. You know, Politico is also reporting that pressure is growing on House Republican leaders to allow a floor vote on data center legislation, following mounting public opposition to these facilities in several parts of the country, Congressman. So after the stopgap funding bill, what should be the first priority for the Republican conference?
We hit the nail on the head. And look, as an appropriator, we are working through that CR that's going to go till December 14th, which is then going to give us the ability to not be placed in a position where we got a gun to our head at the end of September to put together some CR to continue to fund the government. We have already passed a CR. The Senate has passed their CR, the continuing resolution. So we're going to have funding through the elections and then continue our work on the appropriations bill, which I feel highly confident we're going to get all 12 bills done again, just like we did last year. I think that that's absolutely going to happen. But first and foremost, we have to pass Reconciliation 3.0. The bill that I'm a co-sponsor of, the Save America Act, is part of Reconciliation 3.0. We just talked about elections, and we talked about turnout. If we don't pass the Save America Act, that is going to have a dramatic effect on our turnout. And in a sense, if we're not able to pass that, I think the Senate, if they for some reason decide to take that out of that reconciliation bill, that could ultimately play a role in how these elections play out and harm the House. The Senate could be in a position where they could essentially lose the House if they don't pass the Save America Act. So that bill is a must-pass. It has to stay exactly where it is in Reconciliation 3.0.
Well, then you've got to reach out to your colleagues in the Senate, because we have heard repeatedly from Senate Majority Leader John Thune that he doesn't have the votes for Save America. The House has passed it multiple times, as you mentioned, and again, yes, you did co-sponsor it. What if it was taken up in pieces? What if they split some of it apart? Some of more the popular pieces of your legislation was kept in, others taken out that he doesn't have the support for. Is that a possibility? Would you support that?
Well, we've made his life way easier now. We've made his life way easier because we've put it in a reconciliation bill, so you don't need a cloture vote. The filibuster's not, we don't have a 60-vote threshold on this. It's a 51-vote simple up or down vote on reconciliation. So you don't have to go through all the mechanics of the cloture vote where you need 60. It's 51 votes, and if they can get 50, the vice president can come in and tie break that vote, and then we can go ahead and pass it. So this is about as simple as it gets. They got 53 votes over there. I think that they should be able to get at least 50 votes together. We got a one-vote majority in the House, and we've been able to pass a lot of things.
Okay, the data center legislation, is that something that's being talked about in your conference right now?
It's being talked about somewhat. Certainly, it's something that a lot of my colleagues are discussing. We haven't had a robust discussion about it, but I think when we come back in and have our first conference meeting with the House Republicans, that's probably going to be a topic of conversation that we're going to be going through. We're all hearing it in all the states that we're in. Each state has done data centers differently, but I think that there's kind of some through lines in terms of some guardrails and some things that states would like to see that perhaps is something that we could look at the federal level.
Before you go, I want to ask you about what the Trump administration is looking to do. They're looking to impose this fee of more than $100,000 for new H-1B visa applicants. The administration had previously implemented the fee, but it was blocked by the courts, Congressman. Do you support something like this?
I absolutely support it, and what I would like to see is the H-1B visa program completely ended. It's a scam on the American people. This country, we are not an economic free trade zone. We're a sovereign nation with citizens with rights, responsibilities, and duties. And all this is about is cheap foreign labor and replacing the American worker. We have kids coming out of college, millions of them every year, who can do these jobs. This is about replacing the American worker with foreign labor. So I think we need to get rid of the program altogether. OPT is even worse than that. That program was actually never even authorized by Congress. Hundreds of thousands of students are working part-time. Companies are not having to pay payroll taxes, so of course they're taking advantage of that. I think we got to end both of those programs, OPT and H-1B.
All right. Well, certainly we are going to be watching all of that, and we're going to be looking to Monday when you and your colleagues are back on the Hill. A lot is going to be going on next week. We're looking forward to it. Congressman Riley Moore, great to have you on the program. Thank you for being here, sir.
Cheryl, thanks so much.
All right. We'll be right back, everybody.